F1 Fantasy MVP. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is the live stream for the Austrian Grand Prix review. Sorry about that little thing at the beginning. We are here. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button. We are going, yeah, I've just seen it come up on the screen right there. Yeah, F1 Fantasy. But hopefully you guys are doing well. I know I am doing okay. I'm doing okay. I did wear my Alpine shirt, so we can get into the whole Pierre Gasly debate here real quick. But hopefully everyone is doing well. I'm going to go through the chat here. I saw some of you guys were here a little bit early. Let's see here. Let's see. What do we got? Midi, keeping Ferrari, switching from Lando to Max to Oscar, -10 was worth it in the end. Happy Ferrari fans. McLaren prob finished 1-2 again at Silverstone. To be honest, Alonso is quickly becoming a valuable gem. Yes, he is. Thankfully, I went with Bortoleto and kept Ferrari moving to Mercedes. I am guilty of swapping Ferrari to Mercedes. I think I can thinking I can final fix Ferrari again. Benods, hello chat. I'm sure missed y'all last week. How exciting to chat to you all again. How about a fantastic Grand Prix to boot? It sure was. Nicholas here was between Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Bortoleto, and I ended up picking the worst option by a Grand Prix distance. I was so mad. I couldn't even fully enjoy the race. Not even Ant Max DNF made me feel better. Yeah, that's not great. Not great. Benods, I'm very lucky that I made the swap from Sainz to Gasly, but how unlucky were Williams today? Williams, what are they? The biggest losers of the flexi wing change? I mean, I know it's like Sainz, his brakes are all broken and stuff, and Albon just pitting. I'm not entirely sure if we got an official kind of diagnosis of his car, but yeah, not great for Williams. They are in the mud. I don't think we'll be touching them for a quick minute. Cash, dang, not having Ferrari might have knocked me out of the top 100. We can bounce back, Cash. It's okay. I hate F1. I bring in Sainz, league rival brings in Russ and kick Sauber. LOL. Live it, hated it. Yeah. I wish I'd gone for Hadjar to Bortoleto. Yep. I switched from Sainz to Sonoda. Good choice, but also from Ferrari to Mercedes. Ouch. Was between Sainz and Mercedes or Bortoleto and Ferrari. And obviously, I picked the first option. Oi, I swear I'll never go Gasly again. Nice Alpine shirt. If I did not swap out Ferrari to Mercedes, I've had 301 points. FK, thrilled for Bortoleto, says Rebecca. Very happy. Final fix Hadjar to Norris for a projected 294 points. Carlos was on fire today. Literally fire. I am very unlucky. I made the swap from Gabby to Gasly. Why, says report otherwise. Whew. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. That was a great Grand Prix. I'm not going to lie. That was fantastic. I loved every second of it. I was quite literally on the edge of my seat during those first 20 laps when Lando and Oscar were going mono a mono or papaya o v papaya o. And yeah, like just insane. If you guys missed it, yesterday I did a massive marathon stream, 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours on here. So that was a lot of fun. I want to thank anyone that came out, watched, liked, commented. It was fantabby doozy. As you can see, the voice is still intact. So not too bad at all. Still hanging around here. And yeah, there was a huge debate. I kind of went different. As you can see here on my T1 squad, Piastri, Alonso, Russell, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, McLaren, and Aston Martin. I wanted to go down the tier B route because I didn't think that there was a clear enough A-tier drive or A-tier constructor to pair with McLaren. So I thought that this was a good chance to kind of hop off of the A-tier, pick up some extra budget, which I did successfully. But I went with the wrong tier B constructor. I was really debating versus Kick versus Aston. And, you know, like the data looked good. Just brutal, but it is what it is. So as we can go over to the live scoring on F1 Fantasy Tools, Kick Sauber, 46 points down here. That is absolutely monster level performance by them. I might just switch over to them again in Silverstone, but that's for the team selection video, which will be out tomorrow. So make sure that you are liking all the videos and you are subscribing to F1 Fantasy Pole Position if you like what you are seeing in the F1 Fantasy Pole Position paddock. I really, really appreciate it. We got over 3,300 subscribers yesterday. So next step is 3,350 and hopefully on to 3,500 by the summer break. So if you can help me get to that, that would be fantastic. Chris Cullen is in the chat here. What is up, Chris? I have your T1 team, but with kick. Yeah, so right now that team is projected to score 256 points with a 2.9 million price rise. I'm really, really hoping Hadjar can sneak in another point here and get me to the 3.3 million budget rise, because that would feel great. I'd be rocking 117.8 million, which would be really positive. That would help me out quite a lot. But right now we've got a poll going for the first 15 minutes. Who was the F1 Fantasy MVP? Bortoleto, Lawson, Ocon, or Kick Sauber? And right now it is not a contest. Bortoleto is running away with this, 70%. Kick Sauber at 27. Lawson with 3. What else have we got in the chat here? Thank you to everyone for coming out. Ravenko, I chose Aston Martin over Kick, but it's okay. Avoided all DNFs. I was going to pick Mercedes over Ferrari if I didn't go budget team. Yeah, I was really debating that as well, but you knew that, Ravenko. You were in the stream yesterday. Will the Haas drivers be on the table now since I need to get rid of Carlos Sainz? I think they will be, yeah. I shouted out Esteban Ocon in the transfer targets episode earlier last week. Another reason to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That, like, I kind of thought that there'd be a lot of overtakes. Haas like to qualify low, which Ocon did, and then come back through the race. As you can see here, got P10 with 7 positions gained, 9 overtakes. So Ocon was having a field day out there. Steph, Beltov, thank God Gasly survived and got a rise. Yes, it was looking a little interesting there. I think this is the best case scenario, because I was like very anti Gasly yesterday. I was like, I understand he needs 0 points for 0.2 price rise, 5 points for 0.6 price rise. Qualifies in Q3, and I am bricking it. I'm like, oh my God, I've made a terrible call here. What have I done? But the Alpine race pace was not there. Gasly looked awful on that hard tire. And when they switched to the medium, there was a part of me thinking, like, did they go too early? Like, is this going to result in something? I mean, he was talking about, like, get me out of this car kind of stuff. So I'm glad he didn't retire. I'm glad he didn't cost all the managers the 0.6 that it would have cost if he had gone down again. But if I'm also glad he didn't go up 0.6, because then he would have elevated from, or downgraded from, the F1 Fantasy community troll just to my own personal troll, and I don't think I can handle that. But I did want to put on the Alpine shirt today, so hopefully we can all make peace with Pierre Gasly, because he didn't really hurt us, but he didn't really gain us anything either. MD says, my best team scored 301 points, -10, with Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Piastri ×2, Alonso, Hadjar, Ferrari, McLaren. Yeah, in all of my teams, none of them I didn't go Ferrari with a single one of them. And I am very grateful for McLaren's 2.0 pit stop that came in at the very end there on Oscar's stop, because that would have been a big swing as well. Ferrari would have scored some even more points than they already were. So they rocked it, 62 points. That's pretty easy breezy. Crushed Mercedes and Red Bull again because they did not have a DNF. Leclerc and Hamilton, I barely saw them on the screen. I saw Leclerc into turn 1, and that was about it. And then Hamilton, I saw he was kind of complaining about the team strategy, saying, like, I can go longer, I can make this work. And they were like, no, we're not going to do that. Nabez Vaik says, chose Sainz over Bortoleto. Was actually thinking about these two, only about these two. 1.2 million and 46-point swing. Ouch. Yeah, that is brutal. Hadjar misses out on 0.6 just by 1 point, probably, says Darko. Yep, just fingers crossed they can find another overtake in there somewhere. Sad I missed it, but definitely have to go watch. Visiting my parents for a while. I finally got back to some internet connectivity on Friday. No worries, Benods. It was a grand old time. I'm sure we'll do it again sometime. Got to love this game. Take 1 step forward with Bortoleto, 2 steps back with Hadjar, says Alex. Hadjar's not too bad. I mean, 7 points is a little bit disappointing, but especially when you see what Lawson did, 14 points. He had a great weekend. Liam Lawson, we got to talk about him a little bit as well. But yeah, Hadjar was falling back. I think, did they go for the 1 stop and then they were just fading at the end? I couldn't really tell. They didn't have, I don't remember them putting up the pit stops all that often on the broadcast, so it was kind of hard to follow. Max hates that corner at Austria. says, oh my goodness, you guys are blowing it up. I love it. It's become a pet peeve now. Lando owners from Canada should feel hard done by a little because of the DNF last race in Canada. Yeah, I mean, Lando rewarded those managers today with a bang-up performance. If he had gotten the fastest lap, it would have been a bigger swing in his favor over Piastri. But Piastri came through 38 points to Lando's 35. So Piastri managers come out on top again. This time it's obviously a lot closer than it was in Canada. Saranjavac says, woo, I went triple McLaren, triple kick, plus Alonso for one of my teams. Oof, you are flying, my friend. You are absolutely flying. Sainz, you can take out the man. You can take out the man out of Ferrari, but you cannot take the Ferrari out of the man. So true. Report otherwise. Yeah, maybe that's just something they get infected with while they're over there in Ferrari land. McLaren 2.2 stop was sensational. I think Hamilton has 2.3 pit stop or less for 6 straight races. Dang, that's epic. Reckless Medic says triple McLaren, triple kick is on fire right now. Yeah, they are flying. Stuck with Ferrari and swapped Norris for Piastri and Lawson for Bortoleto. Could not be more pleased. 2.9 million budget gain and a boatload of points, Grant. So that's more important. So I've got the 2.9 million, but you must have way more points than me projected in F1 Fantasy if you brought in Bortoleto and Ferrari. That's a pretty tasty swing. George Russell was my differential here, 21 points, 0.3 price rise, so not too bad there. Yeah, I mean, I missed out. But I've got Hulkenberg, I've got Alonso. Those guys should stick around in my squad. Hadjar, let's go here. Let's go to Pat's fantastic F1 site. It's linked in the description below if you guys want to play around with this until F1 Fantasy updates the whole thing. So now if Hadjar goes with this, the 7 points, he's going to need 17 and 11 for those price rises in the United Kingdom at Silverstone next week. So I think Hadjar to Bortoleto is going to be a very, very popular option next week because now that Gabby Bortoleto just came in with a huge score. Let's go here. What was he at? Bortoleto, 26 points. 26 points. He needs negative 12 for a great price rise next week if that sticks around. So outside of a DNF, Gabby Bortoleto is going to be the most popular fantasy manager or fantasy transfer in F1 Fantasy next week. Hadjar for Bortoleto, pretty much lock it in for me right now. And then that should give me enough money to do a little backup to Mercedes or Ferrari. I might be looking at negative 10 next week, guys, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I took a little bit of a gamble, got some budget rise, but it could be a negative 10 in the works next week. I'm not expecting Hadjar to pop off with almost a 20-point performance in Silverstone. Saranjavac says, for main team, I went triple McLaren, Bortoleto, Hulk, Alonso, Aston, actually swapped Russell with Lando with final fix. Oh, nice. Got you some points there. Had Ferrari over Mercedes, correct, but should have gone Bortoleto over Gasly, says William. Yep. Lawson out, Bortoleto in, and I bagged budget and points. Great job by you, Oz. Peter Kavanaugh's in the chat. I DNF with Sainz, tried to play safe, but was tempted to drop Ferrari for stake and Russell for Sainz. Yeah, that was rough, Peter. But yeah, the Sainz DNF is just super unfortunate. Draw Laura Ortiz says, how many points lose Antonelli? I think he went into negative 18. So now that we're over here, Kimi Antonelli, we're going to see, is he a tier B asset? And how long is he going to fall? Because he's now got 3 DNFs in his last 5 races. Despite a 35-point outcome in Canada, he's probably still going to fall in the UK after negative 18. So it's going to be rough there for Kimi Antonelli. Actually, hold on. We can go check with this fantastic tool from Pat, F1 Insights. Thank you, Pat, once again for doing this. Kimi Antonelli, negative 18 points. What are we looking at here? 47 points for a good price increase, great price increase in Silverstone, 31 points for a good price increase. So Kimi Antonelli likely to fall again. We could be looking at like a 16-point-ish million Kimi Antonelli in the coming weeks in F1 Fantasy, which would let a lot of us kind of not in the 120 million budget area get to that 4A a little bit easier. Even though Antonelli's not considered an A-tier asset, he's driving a Mercedes, so I'm going to consider him part of that 4A group kind of now. Perhaps it's time to drop Hadjar and switch back to Haas boys. maybe, but with that Bortoletto being pretty much guaranteed a price rise, yeah, I think we'll go there. Bernard's, the problem with Gasly is that he burned me so many times. I mean, I was shouting at the man to get back to top 10, but for a 1 week punt, happy to have him instead of Sainz 5 minutes before deadline move. Wow. Gua says 301, 2.6 budget gain again. Very, very pleased. Great job by you. Christy says, really happy with 256 and over the moon with the 2.9 million increase. Yeah, the budget increase is huge. That's going to be very handy dandy come, hopefully, the last 10 races of the season as we get into that. There was a moment in the race where Colapinto with the DRS engaged only gained 0.05 seconds on Stroll, who did not use DRS on the straight. It's insane how slow Alpine are on straights. Yeah. I mean, Aston Martin's pretty slow on straights as well. So for Alpine to even be slower than Aston Martin is pretty bad. Actually, I think Kick had a better pit than Ferrari until McLaren did. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I just never saw that update in the live scoring on F1 Fantasy Tools, but I will trust you. Saranjavac, thank you for joining the chat, everybody. Appreciate it. Like I said, 117 people are watching, 21 likes. You know what I'm about to ask here, people? Boost that like up. I'm here Sunday afternoon. I want to talk F1 Fantasy with y'all, but I would love just that little thumbs up. You can help me out here. I believe in y'all. McLaren, Kick, Norris, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Alonso looks like the way to go for next week. Could be mighty tasty. Yes, triple McLaren, triple Kick could be very, very good. I went Red Bull so far. I got 178 points, so pretty terrible. Oof, Red Bull, man. Literally 0 points. So not bad. Rebecca, good point. I guess FP3 at Silverstone will tell us how for real Haas are. Spa is a fast circuit and should suit Ocon and Behrman. Should we consider triple Sauber now? Yeah, I think we should. I was almost too scared to go with that. But here we are. Alrighty, guys. So we're 15 minutes in. The first poll was, who was the F1 Fantasy MVP? 72% Gabby Bortoletto, 24% Kick Sauber. Great job by y'all. Great job by Gabby Bortz to win the F1 Fantasy MVP, which is something I'm working on. If you just watched the very beginning of the stream where this like random animation popped up, I'm working on trying to make it like a full-blown segment. So hopefully in future race reviews, we will get there, trying to continue to make the YouTube channel and podcast a little bit better for y'all. So hopefully that will work out in the future. Second poll is, who was the F1 Fantasy LVP? And the candidates for this are Kimi Antonelli. Who else do we want to make candidates for LVP? Give me a shout out here, guys. Let me know in the chat who you're thinking. I mean, I'm just going to put Williams in there in general. Williams, Verstappen, and who else? Anybody got... Let's see. Who could be the fourth option here? Oh, Tsunoda. Sainz? Yeah, I'm going to put Williams in there in total. Oh, Colapinto. Great call. Yeah, Colapinto. Colapinto, Yuki. Okay, I'm going to take Antonelli off. Williams, Tsunoda. I'm going to do Ant and Verstappen. There we go. Yuki. Okay, start poll. The poll has started. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Greatly appreciate it. Who was the F1 Fantasy LVP? Tsunoda, Williams, Ant and Verstappen, Colapinto. Just putting the two people that crashed in there together. Okay, Gasly always stressing me out. Not as much as Colapinto nearly putting the world championship leader in the wall when he has blue flags. Oh my goodness gracious, Flavio. Like, that is... Can't be doing that, Franco. You gotta get... That's not good. Not good at all. Diogo says, hello, people. Amazing weekend for me since the second place of my league is more than 300 points behind me. Them taking -10, switching Mercedes ruined their hopes. Whew. Crushing it, Diogo. Ocon will be good again, too. Yes, he will be. I believe I should still have 3 moves, which is exciting. Great job by you, Bernard. Sainz to Bortoletto for me, the easiest move of the season. Yes, actually, that's a great point, Nicholas. If you have Carlos Sainz and you want to move to Gabriel Bortoletto, that will be a very, very nice move. Is Tsunoda price drop? Yes, Tsunoda will drop 0.2 million. Looking forward to seeing if Antonelli is going to lose 0.6 or 0.3. We'll find out soon. Is next race sprint? No, it is not. Silverstone is a regular old race, but Spa will be a sprint. So looking forward to that. Spa will also be where they skip a compound of tire. They'll go the C2, the C4, the C5. I believe they're skipping the C3. That is what Coffee Corner Motorsport, Terry, told me when we were doing a Tech Talk episode during the last kind of longer break. So thanks to Terry for doing that. Let's see. What else? Oh, did someone ask what the LVP is? Least valuable player. Because, you got most valuable player. Oh, Red Bull LVP. Okay, there we go. Yes, let me know in the chat. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Load up the chat with comments. All right, MD said that Alonso plus Bortoleto battle had me sweating a little in the final lap. Thankfully, Alonso stayed ahead. Budget increases have been amazing. I feel for those who still somehow have Albon. Oof. Do people still have Albon? I hope not. Okay, 0.8% of the global top 500. So that's literally 4 managers in the top 500 and then 1 manager in the patron top 500. So yeah, big yikes for Alexander Albon. Looking like Borderline and Alcohol going to come in most teams. Yes, that is true. What's Hadjar's points for increase in Silverstone? I think we just put it together, Avails. Let's check it out one more time. So what do he score? 7 here. I think it's like 17 for a great price rise in Silverstone. Not great. Kimi Antonelli could be strong at Hungary, but Spa and Silverstone probably means Mercedes are 4th quickest if Max has more front end grip in qualifying. But Mercedes are usually quite good at Silverstone, right? So, but I mean, we're not really going to go there. I have George Russell, so I feel okay about that. So maybe I'll stick around with George Russell. Just Hadjar to Bortoleto, roll a transfer for Spa. But then I keeping Aston Martin in my team? I don't think so. Had a crazy season so far, said Luca. Most likely top 50 world and first or second in Norway. Congrats to you, Luca. That's awesome. When Austria points come in, had Ferrari, McLaren, Piastri, Gasly, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Hadjar this race. Should I move to double McLaren and double Mercedes? I guess it depends on what's going to happen to Mercedes, right? I mean, they're a constructor, so it is a lot easier for them to kind of move up. What did they need? What did they need? Or what did they score? That's a better question because I can just plug it in here. 18 points. So they score 18 points in Austria. That means they are looking at, yeah, they should rise in Silverstone as well. So yeah, you can go double McLaren, double Mercedes. Oh, but you're just keeping Ferrari. Sorry, you're not tripling up. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, Mercedes are usually quite strong at Silverstone. Fairly happy to keep Ferrari for Silverstone as well. The upgrade has so far worked for Ferrari. I wonder if Red Bull up their game soon. Yeah, I mean, I guess Ferrari are just competing for second place right now, MD. So that is a good point. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. All right, people are loading up the chat. The not finalized scores put me at 42nd. Great job by you, Cash, crushing it. Red Bull LVP. People are saying Yuki. Williams WDNF, give up the game. Approach 2 A-tier drivers for a handful of managers in the next 2 races. Yes. Kimi gets a 3-place grid penalty for Silverstone. Okay, that's interesting. Hold on. Why is Piastri projected for more points than Norris? Because he got fastest lap. That is why. Lawson and Gasly, weekly trolls, 1 up, 1 down. They sure are, man. Oscar more points because fastest lap. And I got 3.3 million budget. Bortoleto is 0.6, right? Says Mr. Best. He sure is. Damn, I just saw I'm top 10 in Spain. Holy moly. Great job, Diogo. Never ever putting trust in Sainz or Gasly again. Even if they need negative 19 for a 0.6 rise, those two will disappoint. Ocon is more via VFM compared to Hadjar. I think he needs like 3 points. Fastest lap. Hadjar and Sainz out more of a priority than Merc to Ferrari for Silverstone. Definitely Sainz. Definitely Sainz out. Hadjar, I don't know. How does this calculator work, says William? But Avails, Hadjar will probably be going out for me as well. So Sainz would be more of a priority over Hadjar, but that's where I would go. Wallace says, how does this calculator work? So pretty much what Pat has done here is you can just plug in. So essentially what happens is this is like the perfect time to use this is right now when we've got live scoring, but F1 Fantasy hasn't finalized all their scores and F1 Fantasy tools has not updated their budget builder. So this is perfect for like a race review stream. That's why I love this tool by Pat. So great job by him. So pretty much what it has is the Spanish points here, the Canadian points here, and then you input Austria, right? So put the input Austria's points for Mercedes. So Mercedes score 18 points. This gives us on the second line here for the British Grand Prix, it says that they need to score negative 15 points for another great price rise. But in this column here in Great Britain, let's say they score 45 points, right? Now we can project out to Spa, which is 29 points, okay? And then we're scaring, oh, it's a sprint weekend. They're going to score 60 points. Now you can see how long, and this is a constructor, so it's not as helpful because usually the constructors, barring DNFs, will rise, but it's really handy for a driver, right? So look, we've got Antonelli. He had, what was it, negative 18 today for Austria. And we're going to get rid of the UK, and we're going to get rid of Belgium. So negative 18 for Antonelli. Hold on. Let's get, here we go. Negative 18. Negative 18 means he now needs 47 points for a great price rise at Silverstone. That's not going to happen, right? However, say he scores like a modest 17 points. 17 points means he's still going to get a poor price, a low price rise or whatever. And then we'll have the negative 18 and the 17. So that means he's actually going to become a worse asset after Silverstone. He's going to need a 64 points for Spa, 49 points for a good price rise, 33 points to avoid another drop, and 32 points to avoid the worst drop. So this is kind of, it's a future prediction tool. And you can just kind of input whatever you want into these values and be like, do I think they're going to score this much? No? Okay, then move on. But hopefully that helps. But Pat has a great explainer on here. The link is in the description below, so make sure you check that out if you want to learn a little bit more. Should I switch Mercedes out for Ferrari or Sauber? Depends if you're budget building or point scoring and what happens in practice at this point. But yeah, Sauber's looking really attractive right now. First race, will all my drivers get plus budget? Great job by you, Mr. Best. Starting to wonder if double McLaren and double Mercedes is a player, if it's better to keep building budget until double McLaren with Ferrari and another 8 years possible. Yes, that's true. Alex is asking, can you link Pat's website? Yeah, it's actually in the description below, and Benaz is helping me out here. Thank you very much. But if we just go over all the live scoring here, we can just highlight everything here. So Piastri, 38 points. Norris, 35. Bortoleto, the MVP of the day at 26. Leclerc, 25. Hamilton, 22. Russell, 21. Hulkenberg coming out of nowhere. Again, the race pace on that Sauber is shockingly great. Lannister's asking, are the points out? Not the official points. These are the projected points from F1 Fantasy Tools. We've got Ocon and Lawson having huge days. Alonso gets us the price rise. Behrman kind of storming back as well. Stroll, Hadjar, pretty disappointing. Stroll was okay. I mean, considering he was P4 in FP2, and then he just like kind of trundled around at the back again, like any association with Lance Stroll is always nerve-wracking, and it was very nerve-wracking today with Aston Martin in my squad. Colapinto and Gasly, awful. Tsunoda and Colapinto, man, like, what was going on with them today? I know you can't, like, they had bad drives penalties, but, like, they nearly caused so many incidents. I mean, Tsunoda did. And I can't believe, was it Colapinto or Tsunoda? Whoever hit Stroll, that seemed like a pretty clear penalty to me, but oh well. And then Verstappen, Antonelli, Albon, and Sainz all here with the negative scores. Really got a feel for Max Verstappen. Like, the championship is over. Red Bull are nowhere right now as well. I don't even know are they in danger? Is he in danger of like falling out of the drivers' championship like standings? Like, where is Russell? Okay, so Russell is 9 points behind him. There's always this, I think there's always been this rumor going around that if Max is not in the top 3 by the summer break, that activates a clause or something. So like, Russell is 9 points behind him. So, you know, that's getting pretty close if you're Red Bull. So I wonder if these Mercedes and Lance max to Mercedes rumors are a little bit more. Did we find out the B to A threshold? Well, we know Antonelli was 18.4, and then he went up to 19 million after a 0.6 price rise in Australia and became a A-tier asset for China. But then he fell back below 19. He kept his kind of price falling kind of stagger at 0.3 million. But now he's below that threshold again. He at 18.6, he's going to fall to he's at 18.3. He's probably going to fall to 17.7, but he could also fall to 18 if they keep him. Personally, I kind of had a mini rant about this yesterday, but like I don't understand why he wouldn't just become a tier B asset because he went below the threshold. I know like once you become a tier A asset, you stay a tier A asset, but they were able to do that in last year's game. Like Lance Stroll was yo-yoing above the B tier to the C tier kind of assets. So I hope they keep it the same. I'd love to get Kimi Antonelli back in the game. To afford 2 A-tier drivers next week, I'll probably need to kick out Ferrari for next week. What would be the second best pick? Probably kick. I don't know. If you just want budget gains, go with that. But Mercedes could be in there as well. Is 3 McLaren and 3 kick a meta now? It's probably a budget building meta. Like, this kick run is absurd. We're probably going to talk about this for years and years to come. But they are just absolutely on one. 52-26, another 40-plus points today. After not totaling that in the first 8 races, they have just come alive since the flexi wing. So now no one can use the flexi wing, and Sauber is now just like scoring points left. Are they the biggest winner from the flexi wing? I don't know. Looking back at the poll here, who was the F1 Fantasy LVP? Sonoda 23%, Williams 57%, and Verstappen 15%, Colapinto 5%. So y'all are off the windows or off the Williams train. I get that. If Max is out of P3 and have to have that clause to leave it, is that the kind of situation? Yes, I think was it. Lannister is asking, what was your team again? It's this team right over here on the left-hand side. Piastri, Alonso, Russell, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, McLaren, Aston Martin. I'm expecting that to get a fair bit of budget, but if I'd gone with Sauber, I'd have budget and points, and I'd be a very happy chappy right now. I'm not too upset. 256 points. It's kind of a regular weekend. Obviously, Ferrari outscoring me here with 62 points, but some of those managers probably went with Gasly, I'm assuming. Ferrari plus Gasly or Russell plus Aston Martin. So 40 points from Aston Martin to Ferrari, Gasly to Russell was 18 points. So I lost about 20 points, but I gained 0.4 in budget. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it wasn't the best outcome, but yeah, it is what it is. Max says, get a contract for free. Sanjita, Piastri, double V carb, double Sauber, McLaren, and Ferrari got me 252 for I changed my team from last weekend. It paid off. Great job. And price rises? Yes, I think I'm going to go up 2.9 million at least, but if Hadjar can sneak in one more point, it'll shoot up to 3.3 million, which will also be huge. Oz says, if yes, we can see another Ant Max competing for that clause, and Max moves to Mercedes. Yeah. Sauber, McLaren, Piastri, Russell, Alonso, Hulkenberg, dream race. Oh my God. Chef's kiss, Justine. Well done by you. Honestly, I hope this is a wake-up call for Red Bull. I predict they will finish 4th in the Constructors Chapter. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mistakenly didn't change my team. It did it better for me than if I changed it. Whitley and a good wing. Yes, they are crushing. They are crushing. The absolute rocket ship increase for Sauber is making me an Audi fan before the team even joins F1. Yeah, I think because I live in Germany and Audi, might have to hop on that wagon a little bit too. But yeah, it's all quite nice. But I'm 4 likes away from 50 likes, so I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button. Always trying to get 50% of the likes going. But yeah. Max says, I really enjoyed that race. I really enjoyed it too. Yeah, the Red Bull Ring is great for this edition of F1 cars. They seem to overtake quite easily. There's good long straights. There's good braking zones. Very, very nice. But who got the fastest pit stop? Asked DJ Usi. That is McLaren. They had 2.0 right in the dot. Hard to believe that Colt qualified P20 with that kick race pace. Yeah, it is kind of wild. I mean, even F1 came out earlier today with their strategy. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to go to like a DA meeting, a data anonymous kind of meeting, because I keep falling prey to this kind of like updated race strategy. Let's see here. Where did we go? Where are the tactical options for the Austrian Grand Prix? And they came out with more race pace data. And people in X and on here warned me about this. So, but yeah, Sauber were dead last this morning in race pace calculated by F1. So I need to stay away from that. I think that's not doing me any favors. Oscar fastest lap, mate. Pit stop for Piastri too. And do this. Oh, thank you, Max. Thank you, Max. So, but perfect. Yes. But I did 4 hours on the stream yesterday. So I am going to actually get out of here a little bit earlier tonight because I got work in the morning and I got to prep for the British Grand Prix team selection because we got a double header, folks. So make sure you are liking the videos, you are subscribing to the YouTube channel so you do not miss anything. And if you want to get on the F1 Fantasy Premium product, you can use promo code UN50 to save yourself 50% off the first month. And yeah, so I'll be back on team selection when all the scores are finalized. I'll tweet out my final team tonight with all the scores, the budget rises whenever they get finalized. But yeah, it will, what are we talking about? It'll probably be a couple hours, 2.5 hours until all those scores get finalized. But I really appreciate everyone chiming in. Hopefully you guys had a great race. Pierre Gasly remains a kind of mini troll for the rest of us in F1 Fantasy. But hopefully it didn't hurt too much if you had him and if you didn't have him either. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with the British Grand Prix team selection. There'll be a Q&A stream on Wednesday, and then we are still figuring out what the final video is going to be for the week, but then there will be kind of later than scheduled cool down room for the British Grand Prix as well. That's kind of a mini preview of the schedule, but I really appreciate you guys chiming in for like a few minutes here for the F1 Fantasy race review. But once again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.